Hello, everyone. We are here with the beautiful Naja Crawford, and she is going to share a lot about her experience in health and hemp. She's also going to give you the pearl of the day and her favorite product. And just a little bit about her. She has a mindfulness practice called Yoga Little, and she's a model, and she is a light in our world that is going to shine on you today, and we're all going to be blessed by her wisdom and her knowledge. Welcome, Naja.
Thank you, Christy. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I am too, and I know our listeners are also. Would you explain a little bit about the work that you do in the school that you're in right now?
Yeah, so I'm involved in many health and wellness sectors. Like you mentioned, Yoga Little is an initiative I'm starting in the inner city for mindfulness practices for the youth, the inner city youth, which I'm very passionate about. And with that also, I thought it would be important to learn more about nutrition and health and wellness, how I can correlate all of those things to be able to help kids understand the full function of their bodies and have good feelings in their bodies and feel comfortable with how they move and what they're eating, and just be more inquisitive about their entire lifestyle, because we're all big versions of our 6-year-old selves. And so I think that if we can teach kids how to comprehensively look at their lives and see how everything's connected and take care of themselves, and we'll have a better planet. We might not be here for it, but it'll be better. So with that, I went to nutrition school with my own health issues, just kind of wanting to understand a little bit more about how to get to the root cause of some issues that can really be changed with diet and lifestyle. So I've been feeling really empowered. All the stuff that I'm learning is it's gold. Like, I just feel like I'm soaking up the sun when I'm learning, when I'm in school, when I'm listening to my lectures. There are a lot of amazing thought leaders in the health and wellness sector that don't necessarily strive to press Western ideals, and that's really important, because I think with everything, it's a balancing act. And while there are great parts of Western medicine, and I've been grateful for, I love the idea that Eastern medicine is totally complementary, if not primary, in terms of the way that we can support ourselves naturally. So I'm excited to have found Seed to System, because I think that has added a whole other level of understanding and information that I'm excited to gain more knowledge about. And Christy, you've been an integral part of my growth process in just learning about CBD, learning about all the systems in my body, the endocannabinoid system, and how important it is, and how it's the roots to every other system, right? I'm the tree, and endocannabinoid system is the roots. The roots are very important. So I'm really grateful to understand what's going on in my body, and to also impart that to the people in my life that I know would benefit from knowing their bodies better. My dad has diabetes. He's type 1 diabetic. He's been diabetic since he was 22, I believe. And so it's really important for me to not only dive into the ways I can help myself, but in turn, I want to share that with my communities. And so this is just the journey that I'm on, and I'm loving it.
Oh my gosh, I love that you're on this journey, and you're absolutely right. When we can help people accept where they're at, and that we take it piece by piece, seed by seed, we'll move up that stream to root causes, and we all have the ability to heal and regenerate. Which brings us to our pearl of the day. Naja has a great pearl, and it's so appropriate for today's this present moment that we find ourselves in. Naja, what is the pearl of the day?
So this pearl is a quote by one of my favorite artists, my favorite painters, Georgia O'Keeffe. And I discovered this when I was like 17 or 18 years old, and it's really helped guide my way in the world. So the pearl is, I have already settled it for myself. So flattery and criticism go down the same drain, and I am quite at peace.
I love that. Last week we were talking about negative thoughts are one of the root causes of disease. And if your thoughts aren't right, if they're not mindful of health, healing, peace, forgiveness, love, then if they're whether you're feeling it from the outside world or they're coming from yourself or you're giving it out to the outside world, we've got to be we got to protect our biofield. We've got to protect our energetic self, be at peace, not be looking for flattery, um, and not be so sensitive to rejection and the things that hurt, because we have to be that inner strength. So, in your words, we can be that inner and outer micro and macrocosm.
Right, exactly. And it definitely, it helps the whole when you do the work as the individual. And I think that helps to not stress me out, because when I think of how daunting it is to actually ignite change, and I think of just with my hands that have made many mistakes and my hands that don't really know where they're going most of the time, it's daunting to think that I would have any space in this to actually make change when I see it as more of that it's all on me. And I tend to take a lot of things on, and I know that I'm not the only person. It's very human of us to want to support everything and everybody, but with all that weight, we can't support ourselves, and there's nobody we can support. So yeah, that's my pearl. I hope everybody
Love
loves
that.
it.
Will you say it one more time so
Yeah,
that we can let
absolutely.
it really sink in?
Absolutely. So I've already settled it for myself. So flattery and criticism go down the same drain, and I'm quite at peace.
And you do represent peace for me. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
How You're welcome. Thank you. And this is the network that we're talking about. When we stand in our own foundation, her roots will connect with my roots and your roots. And the stronger our root system is internally and externally, then the easier it is for us to be the change. But it does start with us as an individual. So
Absolutely.
speaking of change, let's talk about your favorite product.
Okay, this was definitely a change. That's a great segue, because I think that it's one of the changes in my everyday health regimen, or just the things that we need to take care of ourselves, right? Like, so I changed my toothpaste first, and then what came after that? I changed. Well, now it's perfect. Deodorant. Now, we all need this, right? It's very offensive if we don't have it. And also, it's hard for us to live comfortably when we're feeling sweaty and we're feeling like in the world we can't relate to people because I might be smelly, or I might, you know what I mean? It's very common, especially like puberty age. There's a lot of times when deodorant is necessary. And I've had my uphill battle with deodorant. I was using a men's deodorant for years. I'd been an athlete for years, and so all the girls on the volleyball team were wearing men's deodorant because everyone was horrified at the idea of smelling bad. So we all used men's deodorant. But when I came to realize and understand the glands in my armpits and how important they are, I mean, putting anything topically on your body will seep right into your system. And when I realized that, I really needed to make some micro changes that ended up, turning into macro changes, because it's all one big lifestyle change. And so this has been an incredible product. It's fairly new in my regimen, but I've seen such a difference, and I don't even need that much. And I kind of put it on as a lotion. It kind of just melts right into my skin, and it's as if it's not there. So you don't believe me, the story I have of my sister who just had a baby and she's always on the go, and she might forget deodorant, which is very common. I gifted her one, and one day she said she was running around with the baby. They had a lot of errands, and she calls me and she's like, Naja, I didn't sweat one time. I didn't even notice that I had anything on. There were no crumbles. She just had amazing things to say about it. And what I love about a product is when it can speak for itself. because my experience is my experience. But once you experience it, then you're like, oh, I see what you were saying. So I'm so glad that she's been changed by it the way I have. So now we have this like, when are we going to get more deodorant? Put it in order for deodorant for me. I'm like, I got you. It's really important. It's so important. And I feel much better in my body. I feel like I'm not putting toxins into my armpits, and I'm not putting toxins into my whole body. It changed that needed to happen. And so I'm glad that it did. And I'm grateful that this product is here, because now I never have to worry about it ever again.
I am so grateful that you love that product, because as women, if we put toxins under our armpits, it goes right into a lymph system that's very close to our breast tissue. And that area is very sensitive to endocrine disruptors, which contribute to things after 10, 20 years. So
Yeah.
listen to Naja, everyone, and try the deodorant. I love it too. Our entire team uses it, and we didn't even think it was going to be that good, and we all talk about the deodorant as a game changer. So
and we haven't even spoken about the deodorant, so I'm glad to know that everyone's on the board with the deodorant.
Yes. And I'm standing out here in the sun, and I'm like, good Lord, I am glad I had that deodorant on, because my whole team's going to be grateful I have this deodorant on. So I want to ask you, how did you discover CBD?
So I think that around like 26, so around like end of high school, hemp started to become more mainstream. And I went to a liberal arts community high school, and so we were very involved in community things. So we would talk about community health. We would learn how to farm. Like, we were very, very community oriented. And so we learned about certain plants, and hemp was one of the first plants that I'd learned about in high school. And it just baffled me that it was such a demonized, natural, beautiful, earth-given thing. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I don't know what happened. But I loved that, what I had learned about it, but the way that the world had seen it was very demonized, in the same way that cannabis in general has been criminalized in our communities and has been known to help a lot of people. And so with that, I didn't really dive deep into it, because I didn't particularly need it at the moment. I was like 18, 19, so healthy, or so I thought. I didn't feel anything, invincible, right? And then I come to this point in my life where 26 was my like health turning point, and I realized everything just kind of like hit me at once. I've been modeling for a long time, and it's very hard on your body. It's 8 hours in heels, same poses. My hips are just kind of locked in one position many times, and it's really hard on your mechanics. And so I had to use CBD to start supplementing that pain in my body. So it was really more of a pain discovery at first, and then I never found a product that it didn't seem strong enough. So I kind of chalked CBD up to like, oh, it doesn't work for me. It's not strong enough. I need something that's more, that packs a punch quickly. And no product was doing that for me until this year, about a couple months ago, actually. It was 3 or 4 months ago when Michael Motti, my good friend, introduced me to the product. And I had initially started with a spray. And the first time I took the spray, 3 sprays under my tongue, I kind of just let it rest there. I remember within the hour, like, realizing that I wasn't pressing on my knee. I wasn't trying to like start moving around parts of my body that like I normally would have an irritation. So I'm like fidgeting with my body. I wasn't doing any of that. And I noticed it and had to tell him immediately, this is incredible. Like, I need to share this with the people that I love. I know that I'm not the only one who walks around with chronic pain, and it doesn't have to be that way. And so when there's something that can supplement that, the lifestyle changes that you're making, and something that builds upon a system that's so important, the endocannabinoid system, the most important, I found it to be life-saving. I was like, wow, it's not only that I'm taking it, but it's like the antithesis of an Advil, which is just, it's blocking my neurotransmitters from feeling the pain, but the pain's still there and the cause of the pain is still there. I want something that is not only helping with the pain in the moment, but allowing me to build that system so that I no longer have pain. And that was the game changer for me. That was the difference between a pill that I could just take quickly and knock out a headache, or so I thought, and really getting to the root cause, the root system, and giving it what it needs. So once I started giving my body what it needs, I was moving so much better, waking up where I'm feeling revitalized. I don't feel aches and pains, and it's been incredible.
Oh man, I love this. And it's important to remind our people that we're not deficient in pharmaceuticals. We are deficient in a lot of micro and macro nutrients. And I definitely think a full spectrum hemp and all the 500 plus compounds that hemp has in it is a micro and macronutrient for our largest system, like you were saying. And you were talking about something earlier too, about listening to your body. And I think that would be important for our listeners to understand, like how you started to hear things that also helped you, lead you to where you're at now with the Institute of Integrated Nutrition.
Yeah.
Will you
Yeah.
speak to
So
how we listen to our bodies?
yeah. So listening to our bodies, to me, being able to listen to mine has helped tremendously. And the most effective way to start for me was with diet. So I know that there are foods we all eat where we know, okay, this makes me feel good when I eat it. Maybe this doesn't make me feel, maybe emotionally it makes me feel good. Maybe it's comforting, but it doesn't make me feel good. And so I started to have digestive issues. I just started to see my body as a group of systems that were giving me information. And the information was the pain, and the information was the fatigue and the bloating. And it was just so much information, and I couldn't ignore it anymore. It was like whispers. I had like all this information going on, and I'm like, what do I do with all this information? So starting with my diet was the easiest thing for me, because I'm not a physician. I don't know what's best for me in terms of nutrition, because I didn't know what I was allergic to. I had taken a food sensitivity test, which helped a lot and empowered me to understand not what I can't eat, but rather all the things I can eat. And that's helped a lot. So just being able to tap into what I feel good, how I feel after I eat something was a big proponent in being able to kind of see what was working best for me and what wasn't.
I love this. Yes. And I think, if we look at everything, like you're saying, as information, our body's always talking to us in a symptom. Headache, insomnia, anxiety, stomach aches, pain are all body talk, right?
Right.
And instead of trying to cover it up, like you were talking about with the Advils or whatever, or even just the comfort food, we can use food as information, because food is either depleting or replenishing, healing or depleting. There's really not too much gray area when it comes to food. And certainly hemp is information too.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that you noticed when you started taking hemp? Can we talk about stress for a second, and if you feel like it helps with stress too?
Yes, let's talk about stress, because I don't feel any right now. So it's easy to talk about when you don't feel any. And I don't feel any due in part to the lifestyle changes that I'm making. And I was struggling with, especially during this time, like deep anxiety. And I could not, for the life of me, everybody was fine. Everything was fine. Like my mom wouldn't answer the phone, and I would think the worst. Like it freaked me out to be in this setting where I live alone, and I can't go outside, and I don't know where my people are. And it's just, there was so much uncertainty that my anxiety the anxiety I experienced was through the roof. It was through the roof. And so to be able to find this product, and the spray in particular, that I realized, having taken it first thing in the morning before my yoga, before I stretch, helps to neutralize I guess, my emotion and my heightened anxiety feelings, it kind of kept me at a level that felt normal. And I hesitate to say normal because stress and anxiety are normal things to experience. But when you feel them, you feel like you're the only one who's feeling them. You feel like there's no way out of them. And so to be able to give my body something that allows that to neutralize has helped me tremendously with stress and anxiety. Like I've often have these moments where my heart will just drop. Like if I get a text message from somebody and I'm waiting for a response, or it's like a tense situation with a family member, whatever the case may be, if I'm experiencing something like that and my heart drops, that's when I know my anxiety is like, I don't have control over what I'm feeling because there's no reason to be feeling these ways and I can't put my finger on it. And so when I take the CBD, it kind of takes away that heart drop feeling, and I can breathe better. It's like it really helps me to find more breath and space in my body. It's been incredible. So along with how it's helped, my hardware, my software loves it too.
Oh, I love this. Stress is accumulative in the body. And so the longer we wait to feel that normal, that the more damage, the more long-term damage that happens downstream.
Right.
This has been one of my pillars recently. Fear, the definition of fear is false evidence appearing real. And it's real easy to feel anxiety in today's times because we don't have control over everything, but we do have control of how we feel contained in our thoughts and where we take those belief systems. And like we were saying with your pearl today,
Yep.
what energies we let affect us. So I love this because I know for myself, anxiety was one of the biggest things I felt hemp helped me with. And I can relate every single health condition and disease I've had back to stress.
Mm-hmm.
It is a major dysregulator in our body. So
Yeah.
we need we need to find those lifestyles and those foods and those supplements like a full spectrum hemp oil that help our body feed, and so it can do the things that are supposed to do, which is reduce inflammation. I agree, stress is totally normal, but if it becomes overwhelming, that's when we lose perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. So this has definitely helped to neutralize that for me and make it easy to just do like everyday things. Like I started to kind of get, especially in this time, just like lazy, and I wanted to allow myself to do that because there's really nowhere for me to go and nothing for me to do anyway. So if I'm going to be a couch potato, gosh darn it, I'm going to be the best one you ever saw. And I'm going to have all my snacks, and I'm going to sit on this couch, and I'm going to, I don't know, read a book. I'd had to learn how to do so many different things. But before I was able to use CBD, I would just sit in that. There was no leaving it. The day is done. If I'm full of anxiety and stress, I'm just kind of soaking in that. Whereas when I have the CBD, I can feel it. And if I feel it in the morning, I can take some CBD, I can breathe, I can meditate, I can stretch, and I'm feeling so much better. My body feels like it's just at a homeostasis, and that's the most important thing, just finding real balance in the body that I had never really felt up until this point.
I love this. I think of hemp as hydrating our systems. Like we all feel a little like, I feel like anxious when I'm super dehydrated and things just get,
Yeah.
I'm not in homeostasis when I'm not hydrated.
Right.
And hemp hydrates the biggest system in our body. And when we're hydrated on all levels in all systems, we get better signaling throughout that root system.
Right. Yeah.
I love this. So I know we got to wrap it up, but here's the good news, everyone. We're going to be talking to Naja soon because she has so much more to share with us. Do you have, as a model and a beautiful young woman who's on top of health and mindfulness and movement and involved with community, do you have any tips for us as far as beauty tips or lifestyle tips, exercise tips, another pearl that we could take away from your conversation today?
Yeah, I'm making some changes in my life. So as I go, I figure out what works best for me. But I will say, I'll give you a beauty one. And I mean, it coincides with health because beauty starts from within. It is so true. I get compliments on my skin all the time. I get compliments like as if I have something to do with this genetic lottery. Really, it's what I'm putting into my system that is allowing me to radiate inwardly and then externally. That's what it is. There's no special, we can all radiate that way. And keeping your stress and anxiety levels down, eating the right foods, giving your body what it needs, water, hydrating, lubricating our systems and our joints. That's what is really going to do it. So for me, one tip that I really like for beauty that my mom's also adopted. So I think it's like good because my mom says it's good. Even though she would say anything's good, even if it's not. For me, it's, oh yeah, it's amazing. That's what moms do. It's fine. I appreciate it. So my mom and I love to ice roll in the morning. So Ooh. Ice rolling is a practice of basically we don't move our faces or massage our faces or the lymphs in our face or the lymphs down our neck, right? And so there's an ancient practice called gua sha, and it's a tool that you take, you can get on Amazon. They're super cheap, like very affordable. It's a gua sha tool. So basically what you do is you're breaking up the lymph to be able to drain. You're breaking up the lymphs in your body, and you start on your neck so that is kind of like an open drainage system, and then you drain it out from your face. And so it's just really a massaging technique that helps to keep inflammation down. So that's the beauty part of it, right? So we're not swollen in our face. And then also it's just good to allow the blood and the lymphs to drain. It's so important. We don't do that. The only time I'm moving is when I'm talking too much, which is a lot. So I need to be able to really make sure that my face is getting the proper massage that will allow for my whole system to work. Because I think we forget about our face a lot, and we hold a lot of tension in our jaw. And if we're not massaging that, if we're not moving that stuff out, it's stagnant. And when things are stagnant in here, things are stagnant in here, things are stagnant everywhere, hardware to software. And so when you start to unstagnate yourself, there's better flow. So with the ice roller, I usually put like a serum. So I'll wash my face with a gentle wash, and then I'll put like a toner, just a spray. And then I will put a serum, maybe like a hemp oil. I love hemp oil. Flax oil is really hydrating. We want to stay away from coconut oil on our face because it clogs pores, and our face pores, we can't handle that much. The molecule is too big. So we want to make sure that, or too small. So we want to make sure that we don't put coconut oil on our face. The rest of our body is okay. But a gentle oil, and I just kind of dab it into my face like this. And then I take the roller and I just ice roll. And it feels like, if you've ever gone skiing, it feels like your face when you walk out onto the slopes. So it's very refreshing, and your body loves it, and it allows your body temperature to come down and for you to start relaxing. And working on your face is very important. Like massaging your face, taking care of all of this. This is where you smell, where you see, where you breathe, where you eat, where you hear. I mean, so many of our senses are just right up here, and we don't take care of them like we should. So the little things where you think it's just I know guys probably think, oh, what are these women doing with all the face routines and all these oils and all these serums? It's extremely important because this is our crown, and everything that flows here allows for everything to flow better all the way down. So I love to ice roll. I love to gua sha. You can get the ice roller, which is just made of silicone, and you just roll it on your face. You can get that on Amazon. You can get the gua sha tools on Amazon, and just like gentle working on your face, and you start to see changes in your lymph systems that are not swollen. Like my whole neck has opened up because I've started to move all of that stuff that's been sitting out and down. And then you also definitely want to hydrate while you're doing this, just like after a massage. You want to make sure that you're hydrating so that you're replenishing all the toxins that you lost. You're replenishing your body.
Wow. I love this. And that principle is absolutely profound, because stagnation anywhere leads to
stagnation everywhere.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. I feel like all of our listeners can benefit from that information and the principles that you shared with us and how hemp has helped you. Naja, I really appreciate you and your wisdom. I can't wait to have you back on. Tell your sister and your family hi.
I
I am
will.
glad hemp is helping them too. And everyone out there who is listening, Naja is also an influencer with Seed to System. And if that is something that you feel like you want to be part of or join our team in Naja, let us know, because we are always looking for more good people who have integrity and love our product to share the good news and to share how important health is, lifestyle is, healthy endocannabinoid system is. You don't even have to know about any of this, but if you are feeling results, just trust them, because that's your body talk.
Yep,
All right.
exactly. Thank you so much,
Oh,
Christy.
thank you too.
Have a
I
good
know we'll talk
day.
soon.
Yes, definitely.
You too. Enjoy
Okay.
your health and hemp.
You as well. Be well. Be well.
Talk to you soon. Bye,
Okay.
everyone.
Bye.